Hey boss, the components you are seeing down there are made by this Arduino Uno, relay, water pump, and then some jumper wires, and then the main component of the day, which is this, and it's a water level sensor. Today we are going to work with water, and we will be sensing the level of water in a tank or anywhere water is contained. We will use the information from water level sensor to control this pump, and then this have wide application in irrigation. It can be having a wide application once it is implemented into real life, into irrigation, and much more application that involve water level sensing. Please stay in touch on this channel. Let's dive deep in water by measuring sea level. Taking a close look to this water level sensor, you see that it is made by like 5 electronic components, which are 1K SMD resistors and 200 ohm resistors. Then there we have a LED that is marked the power, and it is a LED that show when our sensor is connected. Second, the pinout of this sensor, you see that you have S, which is a signal, and that S is a pin where the microcontroller reads analog signal. Then you have a plus, minus for power supply. Then that third pin, you see that it is marked minus, and it is ground for this sensor. When this sensor is connected, let's do it. Then you will see that it will be showing a light on LED, that LED which was marked as power. We used 5 volts of Arduino. Check here. Then connect this sensor on power. Then as we finished about this sensor pinout, let's see how it works. You see that this sensor is made by copper traces, and that traces are the one that are get contact with water and work in this way. You see that I tried to draw copper traces just like this, and then you have 10 copper traces, and the 5 of which are power, means this one which are thin, and then the other 5 which are sense traces. And then the resistance between those copper traces are tending to infinity, and the more water rises to it, they bridge together and then varies resistance between them. As we put it into water, like on this level, the resistance between traces will reduce. The microcontroller will read such changes into analog resolution and then calculate the level of water, or to mean when we will be having our sensor out of water, will be like reading high resistance that is tending to infinity ohm, and when we immerse the sensor in the water, like on this level, the resistance will be reducing. The more we submerge our sensor in the water, the resistance between power traces and the sense traces will be reducing, and then the microcontroller will be able to implement such readings in analog resolution. That's how the sensor works in general, and to operate it, we will have to connect it like this. Means the signal pin will be connected to analog, and then plus and the minus pin will be connected to plus 5 volts and the ground of Arduino. Let's try to jump to the code and see how we can bring this sensor into action. Okay, now having this setup, you see that you have our water level sensor connected, and then you are reading the analog value to A0, and then you have here the code. You see we started by declaring the analog pin on which our level will be read, means on which the analog signal from the sensor will be obtained. And then we declare a variable var where the value of water will be saved. Then you open a serial monitor in which we will be displaying the readings, and then here in a void loop we will be executing the function called read sensor, which is down here, and this function will be to obtain or to fill the values in a variable var. So let's hit upload and check the status there of the reads while we are uploading, and you see that the program is done uploading. Once it is done uploading, let's open a serial monitor, and you see that you are reading 0 by having our sensor connected. To check the sensitivity of our sensor, you see when you touch it, you will get like the analog resolution there. So when you try to submerge it into water, you will see that the analog resolutions will change. You see, if I submerge a short part of the sensor, the readings will be 500, and when I fully submerge the sensor, you will see that the readings will be increasing. And that's the way that someone can detect the level of water by using this sensor. We will use that values when controlling the pump. The pump will be filling this tank, and when it reaches to a certain value, it will automatically stop. Okay guys, now we have this setup. You see that you have a relay there which is supplied from this step down module. Then you have Arduino, and that Arduino will be a microcontroller which will be reading the readings from sensor and then operate that motor which is submerged into water to control or to fill this tank to the level that will be determined by this water level sensor. So let's start. I will power on there, then you will see that it will start putting water into other container until the sensor senses the level of water that were needed or that were declared in the code. You see, as I pull the sensor upward, the motor keeps running and then stop when it reaches the level that is determined. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give end by subscribing on this channel and leave a comment or a question that you want to ask in the comment section. The circuit and the code are shared into the description below. Ciao, bye. I love you.